Hi. So it's me, Nicholas, again, and my cat, Sebastian. So it was really nice to read through everyone's discussion posts, and it was also really nice to see your writing sample. Um, and I've gone through and I've given like a really quick um, overall impression of those writing samples. Um, I was doing this a little bit quicker than I like to normally, but just so that you could have some immediate feedback. Um, I wanted to talk just about a few large issues that I think came up um, through a bunch of different people's posts. Um, One is anxiety and frustration. And I think a lot of people feel this when it comes to writing. And it's not just students and it's not just people who've been out of school for a long time. Um, Anxiety and frustration just kind of go hand in hand when it comes to writing. And the best piece of advice I have read comes from a writer, Natalie Goldberg, and what she says is you can't fight the tofu, which is to say that um, if you go to somebody's house and they've invited you to eat and they've just decided to make tofu, even though you hate tofu, um, you can put up a fight, you can make a stink, you can be really aggressive, you can express your frustrations, but at the end of the night, you're still going to go and you're going to have to eat the tofu. And she recommends just taking that frustration, taking that anxiety, and just kind of accepting it um, as part of the writing process. And I would say that for me, one of the things that I keep in mind when I feel frustrated with my writing is that this is a process. So even if one of the steps doesn't quite work the way I want it to, I can come back with the revision process and I can improve it. I can make it better. I can make it something that I feel comfortable with. Um, so that's just one thing to keep in mind. Another thing that I saw in a few people's writing samples were concerns with introductions. And I think sometimes it's, you know, I think most people know that you need an introduction to a paper, but then it's just a question of what actually goes in that introduction. And the way I think about introductions is that you really have two main pieces. The first piece is just something where you say, "Hey, I'm I'm writing a good paper here. Pay attention to me." So it's an attention grabber. So it's an anecdote. It's an interesting fact. You're or perhaps you're setting up the problem that you're going to be talking about in your paper. It's just something that's meant to generate interest. And one trick that I use is the more detailed and more specific I am with this hook, with this attention getter, the stronger my paper is. The other thing that goes into the introduction is a thesis, which is just to say one or two sentences where you say exactly what the main idea of your paper is. And honestly, sometimes we need to write a draft of our paper to figure out what we're actually trying to say. So when you're brainstorming, when you're doing that first draft, if your thesis isn't exactly fleshed out, um, just know that good writers will come back after they've written and they will revise their thesis once they've figured out what they're trying to say. And just in those lines, I am going to post another video that I made for a different class where I talk a little bit about um, the thesis, and I talk about topic sentences. Um, just remember, it is for another class. It's a little rough. I was trying some new things, but in general, it should give you an idea about what a thesis is, what a thesis should do, and then what topic sentences are. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always contact me, email me, and I will respond. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to attach an MLA template. And this is just, I normally teach MLA, so when it comes to the way that a paper should look, this template just kind of tells you exactly where everything should go. And just one last note, I am looking forward to the class, but I think that it's always good just to remember to review the syllabus. And I usually, when I was a student, I usually tried to review the syllabus maybe 2 or 3 times just by myself at the beginning of the term. Okay, well, I am looking forward to this week. The new modules have opened. I've sent out the new deadlines have popped up in the newsfeed. The MLA template will also be in the newsfeed. And I hope your quarters are starting off really well. Okay, guys, talk to you soon.